Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Amy Van Liew. I help women get moving and feel better even as aches and pains of age start to creep in with online workouts designed for just what we need that will leave you feeling good, not beat up, so you can be healthy enough to do all the things that you love to do in life. How about that? Got that one memorized. Anyway, today we're in my workout filming studio, which I used to teach group classes in here, but I haven't gotten back to that. So doing some lives. We're finishing up May 31st, 2022. We're finishing up May, which was Bone Health Month, and I dedicated the whole month to bone health. And specifically, if you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis or osteopenia. So many members of the Be Healthy Enough Digital Fitness Studio have come to me and say, oh my gosh, my doctor just said I have osteoporosis. What do I do now? And so this was been several years ago, and 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with osteopenia. So I got certified. I am now an official osteoporosis fitness specialist with the MedFit organization. And so I've learned so much about bone health. And yes, it is a very scary disease. Excuse me, I've got something in my eye. It's a very scary disease, but it doesn't mean that your life is over. And in fact, probably most women over 50, most women in general will have some sort of diagnosis of low bone density at one point in our life. As soon as our estrogen starts to go away, that's when our bone density starts to drop off, as well as our muscle mass. But it doesn't mean life is over. Seriously, there are so many things that you can do to prevent any further bone loss, to keep your body super resilient, because you don't want to have a fall, you don't want to break anything, because that can be life altering. They say that if you break a hip, 24% of people over 50 that break a hip will end up dying the year after that. That is crazy. Now, 24% isn't a lot, but it's enough. So don't fall, don't break a hip, don't break a bone. Do everything you can to keep your body strong and feeling good, not scared. I think I'm going to go right into the workout because I know that's what you guys want. And I can talk and share my knowledge throughout the workout. You will need to be on a nice mat because spines are delicate. If you're on a carpet, you have a towel, that's fine. If you don't have that, run, get away. And then also, if you have any shoulder limitations, you'll know that when you lie down on the mat, oops, I'll move him in a sec. If you can't get your chin down like that, for some people, if their shoulders are really tight or if their neck hurts, they can't get their chin down. It's up like this, trying to get their head to the ground. Grab a pillow. And then I want you to promise before we get started, this is going to be some deep, I'm doing Pilates move. It's going to be deep core work because that's where you're going to get the most benefit. And we're going to not do anything that could jeopardize weak bones, which is forward flexion moves and any deep hip stretching. And I'm going to be as gentle as I can on your wrists. Okay, so if you don't have those things, go get them. I'm going to shoo little whiskey away because we're going to be lying down, and I always have a timer. So you might hear a little beep because I get to talking and you won't stop me and I'll forget what we're doing, and I need that timer to guide me. Move, bud. You're going to have to move, buddy. So everybody come lying on the ground. We're going to do just a quick bit of lesson. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's move. Come over here. Quick bit of lesson on how I want you to keep your low back. God, Whiskey, that's not very nice. How I want you to keep your low back throughout these moves. So if you're lying on the ground and you have your head on the mat, your chin is going to be slightly tucked. So you're thinking about making your neck nice and long. Now I want you to just relax and imagine you have a little grape underneath your low back. I want you to squish that grape so you're pushing your low back into the mat. A lot of these moves, these core moves, they can be very hard on your low back because if you don't have a strong core yet, your low back does everything it can to help. So you want to take your low back out of the equation, you squish that grape, and you hold that still while you're while you're doing these moves, and I'll try to cue you to do that. And then keeping your head on the mat, keeping your neck nice and strong. Now, what we're not going to be doing any of is the crunching moves, because that's really hard on your spine and you don't need them. So let's practice now lying on your mat. I'm going to check real quick to see if there's anybody having any issues. So I see quite a few people, so that's good. That's good. We all want to get a strong core on this last day of May. I'm going to set my timer and we're going to practice squishing the grape. So you inhale and you exhale and you squish the grape. This will actually warm up your spine as well. And then when you inhale, lift the low back off the mat. And then when you exhale, push that low back down. And then when you inhale, lift the low back off the mat. A little bit of spinal movement to get some blood flowing there. One more. Now we're going to practice imagining you're in a sandbox, and I want you to squish down your whole spine and imagine your spine being imprinted into the sandbox. And then you're going to just lift up a second and then squish it again. We're doing the same thing, but I want you to take a moment and really imprint that spine into the mat. And I want you to relax your shoulders, keep your shoulders away from your ears. Your upper, from your armpits up, shouldn't be doing much movement at all. Oh, but right now we are, because we're going to do some chin nods. We're going to lengthen the upper part of the spine. You're going to bring your chin to your chest, and then you're going to release and bring your chin up. You're going to exhale, and then inhale, bring your chin up. You're going to be lengthening your spine on the exhale. Pulling, like someone's pulling your head off your shoulders. Now inhale and exhale. Good. Do that one more time. And then we're going to practice some arm circles. Deep breath in. Now I want you to squish the grape and then keep your ribs knitted together. A part of these moves that I'm going to be doing are Pilates moves, and it's all about maintaining a solid core while you're moving your limbs. This helps engage those deep core muscles. Joseph Pilates did Pilates for rehabilitation, and so he was really working deep muscles to keep the spine, the core healthy as we moved, and strong as we moved our limbs. So we're going to, if we have it like a corset on, you're going to knit those ribs together. Now you're going to practice bringing your arms up and then give me some circles back. You keep your core still the whole time. When your arms come back, your ribs don't flare out like they might normally do. Sorry, that's my cat if you hear that screaming in the background. And then back, and then circle around and back. We're just getting warmed up, and I'm trying to show you some things that you can do to protect your back, protect your neck. Give me one more inhale. Keep those ribs knitted, back here, knitted, 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 and go. See how you have to try to keep that core engaged? Now the next move we're going to do, we're going to start pumping blood from our toes to our nose, okay? It's called the hundreds. It's a Pilates move. You're going to be lying on the ground, as always. You're going to bring your feet up to tabletop unless that causes you any pain. You're going to bring your arms straight and you're going to start pumping your arms. And imagine that you're pumping the blood from your nose to your toes. Your spine is straight, your neck is straight. Your core is engaged, that low back is pushed down onto the mat. If you want to make this a little bit more difficult, you're going to bring your legs straight out. Now a lot of times in the traditional Pilates workouts, they'll come up like this, but we're not doing that today because we're keeping our head on the mat. That'll protect your neck as well. A lot of times, keep going, pumping, breathing, don't hold your breath. A lot of the times I hear complaints about low back and neck issues when they do Pilates, and it's real because those two parts of your body try to recruit to help a weak core. All right, keeping those legs at tabletop, squish that grape. I want you to tap one toe towards the ground and then lift it up, and then tap the other toe towards the ground and lift it up, keeping a 90-degree bend in your knee. Nice, slow and controlled. As you lower that leg down to the floor, you are squishing that grape, keeping that back down and out of the equation, so your core has to do all the work. Do you feel that? Now this is really good for strengthening the hip flexor muscles that are right here. I feel it in my lower belly. Give me one more. That timer, can you hear that? That helps me so much. All right, rest a second. And when I mean, and I take 15-second rest with Pilates, try to stretch anything out that's starting to scream at you while you're doing the moves. Now we're gonna make this move a little bit harder. You stay with this alternating toe taps. If you want, you can do double, feet together, knees together, and reach your toes towards the ground and then lift up. See, that's a little bit harder to keep that low back on the mat. So if that low back starts to pop up, don't go down too low then. Maybe you just go to here. Maybe you just find that spot that works for you, and that's very important to build the core up slowly. Otherwise, what happens? The low back starts hurting, the neck starts to hurt, and you don't need it. You're gonna feel these moves. I started doing Pilates a million years ago, and they're just amazing for keeping the muscles in the core long and lean. Good, and give me a little stretch. I like to bring my knees in and just give my low back a little massage by rocking back and forth. We're gonna do leg circles next, dropping your left leg onto the ground. You're gonna take your right leg straight up in the air. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, that's not gonna happen, so you can have your knee bent, and you're just gonna give me some leg circles. You're gonna go nice and slow, keeping the opposite leg still. You're squeezing that left butt cheek as you circle around. Good, now let's go in the opposite direction if you can. This move works right where the hip meets the leg. I can feel all those muscles right there around the hip joint working. Some of my core as well. Even the opposite leg is working because you're contracting that. It's an isometric move for that opposite side of the leg. Now bring that knee in and give that a little stretch. Good job. By the way, make sure you stay till the end. If these aren't for you, you can stay till the end and watch, because I'll be doing a Q&A, and I'd love to know what moves don't work for you. Let's do the other side. So right leg down, left leg up. I try to get my leg as straight as possible, but a lot of people have some tight hamstrings. So you could even have it bent here and do some leg circles. That's what we have to learn when we're over 50, is it's where we're at. And we can't feel bad about where our body's feeling. We just have to do what we can with where we're at today. Finding those modifications, slowly building up and trying a little bit more challenging moves. Circling that leg around. Good. I feel a lot tighter in this side. You'll notice if you start doing Pilates, or to be honest, any exercise, you will notice a difference from side to side. Now we're going to do a single leg stretch, which is a traditional Pilates move. You're going to have your knees bent here. Our head's going to stay on the mat for this particular one. You can brace your hands down, and all you're going to do is stretch one leg out, bring it back, and then stretch the other out. Now you're pushing that low back into the mat, and it's nice and slow. If you start doing momentum, you don't work your core, you're working your leg muscles. So you go nice and slow and controlled. If you can get that straight leg down, let's relax your upper body too. Sometimes that gets tight because it's trying to help us out a little bit. Breathing out and breathing in. I haven't really talked about Pilates breath yet. That's a little bit too much for today. But as you start to do these moves a little bit more, you can incorporate your breath, which is an amazing part of Pilates. We're going to do that same thing, but with both legs together. Take a deep breath in. If you want to just stay with single leg, you can. Feet together, knees together, bracing that back on the mat, and then push straight out and straight back. Good. Nice and slow. Pause right there. Feel that tummy work. Now, a lot of times people think that when they work their core, they're just working their abs, but we're working a lot more than that with these moves. We're working our hip flexors, and towards the end of the workout, we'll be working our upper back, we'll be working the side of the leg, the inner thigh, and the glutes. All a part of a strong core, not just crunches and bicycles and planks. We're going to do a lot of moves to work all those stabilizing muscles. And inhale and exhale. Good. Bring those knees in, give it a little circle. That was a little bit more challenging. Now we're going to do another move called a single leg straight. The leg comes right up to the sky. You're going to drop one leg down and then the other. All right? That's a challenging move. You can just bend one knee and then the other knee. You can even hang on to your thigh. A traditional single leg straight, if you've seen it before, you're coming up like this, but we're not going to do that today. So you just hold onto the leg, let the other leg drop. This is challenging for me, and so my legs aren't completely straight, but you do what you can do. Oh, this really works the core. Now I'm starting to feel my low back just a little bit, which is telling me that it's trying to help my tummy. Now, I forgot to mention, this is definitely in a level 2 core workout. This isn't a level 1. If you want a level 1 workout, Be Healthy Enough Digital Fitness Studio. I didn't release that one yet. I released the strength one. We're going to do one of the most difficult moves with our head down on the mat. It's a double leg straight. We're just going to try for 8. I'm going to turn off the timer. The full move is like this, where you're bringing your legs to about 45 degrees, making sure that low back doesn't come off the mat, and then you come back up. If that's too much for you, you just bend your knees, or you just go a little baby moves, okay? We're going to try for 8. We're going to inhale on the lower and exhale. When you exhale, you're contracting your tummy, you're contracting your abs to pull up those legs. Deep breath in. Let's go. Let's go down. Inhale and exhale. This is a tough move. And down. This is 2. I'll probably mess up the numbers. And down. This particular move works the rectus abdominis, so the long muscle that runs straight up your tummy, and the obliques, which are the side muscles. I think I'm at 4 now. I don't remember. This is why I have a timer. Let's just do 2 more because my tummy's screaming at me. Down and blow up. One more. And bring those knees. There's a fun stretch I like to do after those moves that work the hip flexors too, is you bring your feet wider than the mat and you bring one knee in and then you bring the other knee in. It stretches right there. Now I'm going to double check, make sure everything's going good. Hello everybody. Let's go back to, what are we doing on my timer? Hope you're doing okay. Now, we're going to do some pelvic tilts. A lot of the times when we're doing these moves, the low back right here, I can feel it right here, starts to feel a little bit sore. That's telling you maybe just need to work on your core muscles just a little more, or the pelvic floor muscles. You guys, there's so many issues with the pelvic floor. I'm going to just start now. I'm signed up for a course on pelvic floor because it's just so complicated. All you're going to do is squish that grape I talked about in the beginning and then squeeze all those muscles in your pelvis area. You know, the ones where you do Kegels. That squeezing action, and then release. Let your low back come off the mat. And then squeezing. This squeezing and tightening of the muscles can help release the low back. And you squeeze and hold like you're trying not to go potty. And release. And then squeeze. And release. Good. Just getting some motion in the low back too also helps. Now we're going to start working the back of the legs. Now I want you to keep that pelvic tilt, that grape squished. And then what you're going to do is brace yourself and you're going to lift the butt up off the mat. And then you're going to come straight down, keeping that pelvic tilt slightly. What we're trying to work here in this particular move is the back of the legs. All right? And if you don't, you probably won't feel it yet. But if you don't feel this in the back of your legs, I'd recommend you putting your feet up on like a chair or something. I'm starting to feel it now. A little bit of tension. Hold it at the top and come down. And hold it at the top. Working the back of your legs or your hamstrings is a key part of keeping your core strong. Hamstrings do a lot in stabilizing our whole pelvis area, as well as keeping our balance. Keep going. Good. Rest. Bring your knees into your chest. That was a full minute we did those. I'm going to do a little bit more, a little bit intense. And you're going to keep up in that bridge, get a little stretch there. And then you're going to just open your knees out and close them. So we're getting some isometric work for the back of the legs or the hamstrings, but now we're also working the outer thigh and the inner thigh. Keeping that upper body nice and relaxed. Oh, now my back and my legs are burning. I can tell my strength workout was yesterday. I definitely am working on building strength because I know building strong muscles helps build bone density too. Keep going. How's it going? If you need to set that butt down, do so. Out and in. As you do this, to get a little bit more advanced, you put a band around your legs. I just filmed one of those on the beach last month while we were camping. All right, now we're going to get on our side, and we're going to, so with osteoporosis, you don't want to be doing any forward flexion, and you don't want to be doing any of the deep twisting or the bicycle moves, okay? But we can work our side with a move called a side plank. The side plank is a perfect exercise to work right here. It can be a little challenging, and we're going to hold it for 20 seconds. I'm going to show you some options. You're going to be on your elbow, and sometimes for me, just that hurts my elbow, so I just double up on my mat. And the first level is you're going to have the bottom leg bent, the top leg straight, and you just come up so your hips are stacked on the side, and you can bring your arm up because it looks so pretty to do that. And then you lift up away from the floor, and you feel that lift. Now we're going to do that for 30 seconds. You can do that with both legs straight. I set the timer. Let's see how you can go. Pick your level. Whoops. Pick your level, and it's an isometric move. Now, if this hurts your shoulders, no, don't do it this one at all. I'll give you another move to work the side of your belt, the side of your body, but this one is really hard on shoulders. Keep going. Don't hold your breath. You can set that leg down if you'd like, but we're almost done. Now come down and then lift up and stretch. Did you feel that side of your body work? If not, leave me a comment and I can help you work through that one. We're going to keep going. We're going to do some dips. So you have your elbow down. If the shoulder's done, just watch, maybe get a stretch. I'm going to keep my bottom leg bent, and then you're going to dip the hip down and lift up. That'll do it. If that shoulder's bothering you, maybe you just try to find a different location, moving a little bit further away or a little bit closer. I can tell I worked my shoulders yesterday, so that seems to be the weak link for me today. Last one. Poof, that's hard. As you heard me, my heart rate went up with that one, and I got a little sweaty. We're going to work the side of the leg right now. So come on down, just rest your head on your arms or your pillow. Your bottom leg is bent, top leg is straight. You're going to lift the leg up. You're working the side of the leg right here. Key part of your core. These are called the abductors, and the inner ones are called adductors, and the outer thigh and inner thigh is what I call them. And you lift up, and you don't want to have your leg open like that. It's a good exercise, but it works the front of the leg, and I'm trying to isolate the side of the leg. Hold the tummy in. You can put your hand down here. This is a little bit of a kickstand. Good. Keep going. You should feel the side of the leg work a little bit. If it's not, you can lean forward just a little bit and feel a deep one right back there. Now we're going to work the inner thigh. So you take the bottom leg, bring it straight, flex your foot, and then lift that leg up, working the inner thigh, which is a key part of balance as well. Working the inner thigh and outer thigh can also help build up the muscles in your legs to help prevent knee pain. This is a very neglected muscle. I know I used to neglect this before I started doing Pilates. Lift up, see if you can get it up to the knee height. And I always put my foot behind. There are some people that can put their foot in front, but it limits my motion just because of my lack of flexibility there. And I like to lean back on my butt cheek because it gives me a little bit of cushion there. Good. If you're still watching, well, hopefully you're still watching. Keep going. Bring your feet together, your knees together, and you're making a little bit of a diagonal with your legs. These are called clams. Your feet stay together and your knees open up. Good. Leave me a comment or anything, and I can get back to you later if you have a question or have a problem with one of these moves. This one works what's called the gluteus medius, which is a little muscle right above the butt cheek. Real important for balance and to keep that strong for low back pain. Good, keep going. Nice and slow and controlled, especially on the lower. We want to fight against gravity so that muscle has to work a little bit harder. That's it. Now we're going to switch to the other side, but I want you to be careful of your spine. So you push up, keeping your spine straight, and then you swing your legs around, and we're going to do that darn plank hold again. Are you hanging in there? Give me a thumbs up or anything to make sure that everything's still going okay. You're about 5 feet away from me about right now. Okay, plank hold. Elbow right underneath your shoulder. Bottom leg is bent. You can come up into that plank hold right there. Isometric work for the side of the body. I'm feeling it a little bit in my shoulder, but I definitely feel it in the side of my body. I can definitely go straight-legged if you want to try that. A little bit more challenging, but I've been doing Pilates for a long time because I know I'm 5'10", and after I do a Pilates routine, I feel taller. And go, rest. Take the time to stretch out that shoulder, stretch out the side of your body. We're going to do those side hip dips. Next, we lost the dog, Whiskey. He used to love to up on your knee, down your hip, and up. He used to love to work out and be in my videos, but now he's like, yeah, you don't have any treats, forget about it. Down and up. Good. Keep going. Focusing on the muscles we're working. What are those right now? The side of the body. Unfortunately, we're working our shoulders as well. Last one. Give that a stretch. Oh, I feel that. I definitely feel when I started incorporating side planks into my routines, I started feeling the side of my body working a little bit more. There's that little muscle soreness. Okay, lying down on the ground, head cradled in your hands, hips stacked on one another. Start lifting up the leg, giving me some side leg lifts. Good job. Hope you guys had a great long weekend. I did. My mom and I went to see Downton Abbey yesterday, the second one, and it was so cute. Very, very happy, heartwarming. A little bit sad at the end, but the rest of it was just very happy. Keep going. Feel the side of your leg. Don't lean back. Don't lean forward. Hips are stacked one on the top of the other. So you work the side of the leg. Slow and controlled. I started to go on a little fast there. Slow and controlled on the lower. Give that a little rest. Ooh, that burned a little bit on that side. Good job. Inner thigh with the opposite leg. I lean back a little bit. My foot goes behind. Deep breath in. I like to flex my foot because it focuses me to contract my inner thigh muscle as I lift my leg. Everybody's different, but feel the muscle in the inner thigh from the knees up to your groin working. It's a beautiful day. The month of May has been really cold for us here in San Diego, and we call it May gray, and it was really gray, but now finally the sun's coming out. Unfortunately, there's also a term called June gloom that can happen. In the mornings, it's really foggy and cloudy and misty. Keep going. Oh, but we're far enough inland from the coast that we sometimes don't get that June gloom. Last one. Oh, I felt that. Did you feel the inner thigh working? Give that some, finish up with clams. And then I think we're going to roll over and work our back, which is super important. Feet together, knees together, feet stay together as the knees open up. Your little clam. Pretty. That's my cat. Maybe she'll come out here and see us. Opening up. It's a really It takes a while to feel this move. I have the timer set for 45 seconds, but you want to make sure that it's a small move for you. And by that, I don't want you rocking back and forth. The purpose of this is to work that little thigh, that little butt muscle on the side there. I can feel it. Put your hand there and see if you can feel that contracting. Keep going. Now we're going to be rolling onto our tummy next, okay? You'll see me lift it up because my microphone is right here. You'll see me lift it up, but I want you to be, if your head's on the ground, resting your head on your forearms or on a pillow on the mat. The first move, you're going to have your arms all the way out with the thumbs up, and you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. So come down onto your tummy, resting your head on the pillow or on the mat, your arms are out. Towards the These are posture muscles. With osteoporosis, you want to make sure that you keep those muscles strong because you can actually cause some compression fractures in that spine if you're not careful. Okay, we're going to do an opposite arm, opposite leg. So you lift one arm and then the opposite leg and you hold that up there. Okay. I want you to still hold it tight as you squeeze your glute. You lift up the opposite. Nice and slow. Go back work. Now, if it starts to hurt, you stop. You're done. All right, now we're going to do Superwomans. Some people call them Superbands. You're going to lift up arms and legs at the same time. So arms out over your head. You're going to lift up your arms and your legs, and you're going to feel like Superwoman, and then down. Squeeze your tummy in, and then really that muscle in the top. I did a full 10-15 minute spine workout. You do at least 3 or 4 times a week to keep the upper back and the lower back muscles strong to protect the most delicate part of your body if you have osteoporosis. Now you're going to be lying on the ground, legs stay on the ground. Just step off your shoulders together. Up and down. This one really challenges your back muscle. Stop. If they start to hurt, just come back another day. On the mat. One. All right, the last one, you're going to bring your head's going to be resting on the mat or your forearms. It's only going to be your legs. Your legs are as wide as the mat. You lift them up, then tap your heels together and open and down. You lift up, tap your heels together, open and down. Nice and slow. And down. Good. Tap your heels. Now your head resting on the mat. I'm waiting for the microphone. That's okay. And 2 more. One more, last one. Tap and then down. Now come up onto your hands and your knees if you can. We're going to round that back up just a little bit. You don't want to do a big cat-cow with osteoporosis, but you want to do a little bit of a movement of the back. Let those muscles relax and release. All right, we're going to do a move called a bird dog, but we're going to do the arms only. If your wrists are sensitive, you can be on your fists like this. Or just don't do this move at all. Splay your fingers out as much as you can. All right, arms only for this first round. Zipping up through your tummy. Neck stays in line with your spine. No neck up, and you're just going to reach one arm and then the other arm. All right, working the back muscles and down. You're also working a little bit of the shoulder muscles. Keep those hands splayed so as much gravity, as much distribution of weight is across your entire hand, not just your wrists. All right, now the wrists stay in place. Again, zipping up, don't let your head drop, keeping your neck in line with your spine. You're going to take one leg straight back, okay? Don't open up your hips too much. Keep them parallel to the floor, and then bring the other one. Really good for the glutes and the low back. Nice and slow. Good. You don't have to lift up too high. It's more about squeezing your butt cheeks. Coming down the wire here. Good job. One more. Now we're going to do a short 30 seconds of opposite arm, opposite leg. If that's too much for you, go back to the legs or the arms. So zip up through your tummy, opposite arm, opposite leg, and hold. 3, 2, 1, and down. Other side. Really good for your balance muscles. It's like, well, my balance muscles, I'm not even standing up. But you're having to hold your core tight to keep yourself from rocking back and forth. And that tight core, all those muscles are your balance muscles too. Keeping that spine nice and straight as always, and rest. Okay, we're going to do plank next. There's a couple ways you can do plank. I usually do them always on my elbows. Down here, you can stay right here if that's what you want. You can be up against a wall, but I don't have time to show you that. You can walk your knees out, bring your butt down. You can stay right there. Wherever you want for the last 30 seconds. If you want to be on your toes, you set your toes down and just try lifting your knees up. Now your neck stays in line with your spine. Don't hold your breath. Keep that butt, the whole back of your body is straight. Your butt's not up here and it's not sagging down. Till I'm getting out of breath. 10 more seconds. I think this is it. 4, 3, and rest. Good. That was it. But we got to stretch. So bring your knees wide as the mat. Sit back on your heels and give me a nice cobra. Excuse me, that's not a cobra. That's a child's pose. We're going to do cobra. Lying down and bringing your elbows down, lifting up through your tummy, rounding your spine in the opposite direction. Again, if this doesn't feel well, if you feel any pinching, you stop. Now you push yourself up. And you sit back on your feet and sink back and reach your arms long. Lengthen your spine, separate each vertebra. Ooh, in and relax. I'm stretching out before after stretch. Hurt. That's not a real deep hip stretch, but so that should be okay, as long as it's okay with your doctor. Now we're going to stretch right here. Pilates, you really work the hip flexors, and if you sit a lot, you're going to feel that they're weak because they just hang out when you're sitting. To stretch the hip flexors, there's a couple ways you can do it. If you have bad knees, you can do this standing. You just bring one foot forward. I'm going to do the other foot first. You just bring one foot forward, and you can lean forward like this to get a stretch, or you can just do a little pelvic tilt and feel a stretch. Everybody's different, so I always say, do what works for you, but you want to be able to feel the stretch right through here. Your hip flexor attaches to the back of your spine and then down to your hip to lift up your leg. You can reach your arm up to get even a little bit more stretch there. Do you feel that? Play with that move to feel that stretch right there. All right, now let's switch to the other side. And if you can imagine you're standing up, you can push that hip flexor, you can push that hip forward and feel the same sort of stretch right there. The other leg forward, sometimes it helps to hang on to something. Push that hip forward, or you give yourself a little pelvic tilt, standing up nice and tall. I've seen 2 different ways to do this, and for me, doing it this way is a little bit harder on my knee for some reason, so I get a good stretch just by leaning forward that way. That's what's so cool, is, and you can lift up your arm if you want. Everybody is different, so you have to find what works for you. Deep breath in, and what phase you're at in your fitness journey. Not trying to do one of those crazy workouts on YouTube that was designed for a 30-year-old. You know, you're going to come to sitting. Now, we're sitting, we're going to be stretching the back of our legs, the inner thighs and the outer thighs, but I want you to keep your back straight. You got to learn to keep your back straight if you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis. So you can bring whatever foot forward you want, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to stretch the back of our leg, leaning forward with a tall, straight spine, not rounding over like that, okay? It's actually more effective if you feel a stretch in the back of your leg doing that. Deep breath in. Oh, we worked the hamstrings when we did those bridges. We worked them when we did the heel taps, when we did the plank. So give them a nice stretch. If you are flexible and you can reach your toes, you can even, Dad's calling me. Oh, it's 9:41. We're almost done, and I'll leave a couple minutes for Q&A. Anything you want to know about bone health or about my workouts or about me, feet together and knees open up. Now, I don't want you rounding forward, keeping that back nice and straight. We're stretching the inner thigh that we worked today. Oh boy, I can feel that. It feels good. It feels so good. Now, this workout, in fact, any workout should not make you feel bad. If you're doing a workout and you feel bad, you feel exhausted, it's not right for you. Just sit comfortable however that is for you, and I want you to open up your chest. Back is nice and straight, and you lift up, stretching those chest muscles. That also helps with your posture. If your chest muscles are tight, they're just like a rubber band, constantly trying to pull your shoulders forward. Good. Now clasp the hands and just stretch out the upper back. We worked that when we did plank. Oh my gosh, and we did the upper back moves, the arms up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Now hopefully this didn't hurt your neck. We're going to give our necks just a little bit of a stretch before I take some questions. Just bring your chin to your chest gently and then lift up. This is something you should be doing every day. Moving the neck muscles around into their full range of motion. Now bring your ear to your shoulder. I wish I could see better who was all attending, but you guys are far away. I'll look in just a second. And again, say hi. Let me know where you've watched from. Now I want you to keep one ear to one shoulder and just look down. Now take your gaze and look up with that ear over to that shoulder. Do you feel a stretch in the back part of your neck? Oh, I'm sorry, right here is the front part of that side of my neck. And then lift up. If that causes any pain, don't do it. Over to the other side. Feel a stretch right there. Now just bring your gaze down. I feel a stretch in the back side of my muscles there, my neck muscles. Now look up slightly. Feel a difference? Stretching all those muscles right there, and just give your body a little shake. Kind of check in, see how things are feeling. Take a deep breath, close your eyes. Oh, and just give yourself a big hug for taking the time to learn more about your core. Unless you're one of my Be Healthy Enough members, then you should know a lot. I'm going to scooch forward here and bring you down just a little bit and see if I have any questions. And this might take me a minute to find. So any questions? Let's see. Oops. Uh-oh, did I just lose everybody? I don't know if I've got any questions. This stuff is so new to me. So if I can't see them now, what I'll do is I will look at the comments a little bit later and answer them, and then let me know again if something hurt or if something didn't feel right, or if you have any more questions about working your core, even though you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis. I'm a fitness specialist now for osteoporosis, so I'd love to help you. Also, we're finishing up. This is it for the May 31st, end of Bone Month, and I want to make sure that you know that next month my theme is summer vacation, so working out and exercise and staying healthy enough while you're traveling. Be Healthy Enough members, you've got your workout calendar, you've got your 7-day on vacation challenge, all workouts in the month of June. Don't use any equipment except a little exercise band. And most of them I filmed on location. I filmed, oh no, feed kept freezing. Oh, I'm so sorry. Darn it. Oh well, darn it, darn it, darn it. Oh well, we'll see what happens. We live in kind of the outskirts of town, and so internet's pretty much a crapshoot for us. But maybe next time, or maybe I'll film this and I'll just add it later. Thank you guys for joining me, and see you next time. Bye.